there seeing these youngsters in unprecedented numbers. And I've had doctors, nurses, and more harrowingly, victims reach out to me, loads of them, because I've managed to gain real traction. And I think the reason for that is a twofold. It's undeniable what a funeral director tells you. What have I got to gain? I've got nothing to gain. I've even had people. So I had one girl called Yvonne Myers last year emailed me. She said, "Hi, we're from RT News." She weren't from RT News, but she said she was. She said, "We want to get your story as an exclusive. We want to pay you 85,000 to give us that story. We want to tie you down to us contractually, and then what we'll do is we'll do that over 4 or 5 episodes." I could show you the email. I kept a copy of it, and we want to present that to networks globally. We could get your story out. Now, I know as well as you do what's going to happen when they present that out. That's not going to go anywhere, so it's going to go in the bottom drawer, and then I'm contracted. I can't speak to anyone else.
Exactly.
You know, so I kind of chewed that. I pondered it, and I kind of replied. I said, "Look, I'm happy to speak to you and tell you my story. I don't want any fee, and I'm not going to be tied to you contractually." And I never heard anything back.
Good man. Called the bluff.
Why would I do it? I'd rather earn my own money. I don't care. Do you know, I'm a funeral director who drives an 11-year-old Mondeo. The money is not what drives me. It's the looking after people, and the money will come. The money will come. I'm far from wealthy because I'm not mercenary enough or greedy enough. Money means nothing to me. I've never put any money in a coffin, Matt.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt in the same way as you played for Southampton your entire career. You must have had plenty of carrots dangled. Why didn't you take the carrot?
Because money didn't.
Yeah, it's not about the money, mate.
No.
It's about the money. So for me, if they'd have come in and said 5 million, I might have thought twice. I wasn't prepared to sell humanity out, not for any price, mate. And that's why I'm willing. So one of the people that reached out to me last November was a guy from who's a very interesting guy, and I get a lot of people reach out. Politicians I've spoke to. He was British intelligence. Now, I would normally take these things with a pinch of salt, but he was very convincing. He was an older gentleman, and he was in communications. So he wasn't, he didn't say I'm 007. And he said that a number of things that he told me, one of them, some of them I've not really talked about because it was too way out there. The left-wing hysteria would straight away get labelled you as a racist. But I will tell you, he said that the young men that are landing on Kent beaches are UN conscripts. They're UN soldiers, and they're being deployed at some point in the future. That was what he told me. How true it is, I really don't know.
That ties in with what Mr. Brady said about the government being prepared for it.
Yes, most definitely. So I'll tell you now, they're training them in Antalya, Turkey, and in Western Ukraine. Officer ranks down to sergeant. They then ship them kids to France. They sign an official secrets act along with all the conscripts, and they're then shipped over on that basis. That's what these young men are. Is it true? I really don't know. I guess when we see all these young lads in UN uniforms on British streets, we'll know it was true. That's what he told me. And he also told me that I was a person of interest and that I would be targeted. And 3 weeks later, I fell ill. Despite I'd been dressing people labelled with COVID for nearly 2 years without a mask. I've never worn a mask, but I suddenly fell ill. I felt like I'd been poisoned or burnt. It wasn't a natural illness.